She held the rifle like she held her medkit with absolute precision. For Sergeant Anya Petrova, the two were extensions of the same will, instruments of a single, unwavering purpose to protect life. On the frozen steppes, where the wind bites with the fury of a cornered wolf, she was known by two names. To her comrades, she was Doc, the steady hand that could suture a wound in a moving vehicle, the calm voice that cut through the chaos of battle. To the enemy, she was the Ghost, a phantom marksman whose single, calculated shot could change the entire course of an engagement. Most soldiers specialize. You're either a Trigapula or a lifesaver. The two mindsets seem opposed, one to take a life, the other to preserve it. But Anya never saw the contradiction. To her, a well-placed round that neutralized a threat was just as vital as a well-applied tourniquet. Both actions prevented further harm. Both saved the lives of her friends, her family. Her journey began not in a military academy, but in a small-town clinic, watching her father, a doctor, work miracles with limited resources. He taught her that precision wasn't just about technique. It was about focus, about understanding the delicate balance between life and death. When war came to their doorstep, that lesson took on a new, brutal meaning.
San listed, surprising everyone by excelling in both marksmanship and combat medicine. Her instructors were baffled.
How could someone who could hit a target from 1,000 meters also have the gentle touch to set a broken bone without causing a flicker of effect? They didn't understand that. For Ania, the rifle wasn't a weapon of aggression. It was a scalpel, used to excise a cancer from a distance. Every squeeze of the trigger was a surgical procedure. Every calculation a wind and drop a diagnosis. One fateful afternoon, her unit was ambushed in a narrow valley. Pinned down by heavy fire from a fortified machine-gun nest, they were taking casualties fast. The air was thick with smoke and fear. Radio calls for support went unanswered. They were trapped. As men fell, Anya was a blur of motion. She'd lay down, suppressing fire with her rifle, creating a precious few seconds of breathing room, then sprint to a wounded soldier, med-kit in hand. The world became a series of critical tasks. Apply pressure, clear an airway, fire 3 rounds, move. The machine gunner was relentless, tearing their cover to shreds. Their sergeant was hit, a severe leg wound. Without immediate intervention, he would bleed out. But the nest had them locked down. It was an impossible choice. Stay in cover and watch him die, or move and be cut down. Anya saw a third option. She looked at her rifle, then at her med kit. One instrument to stop the bleeding from the outside. The other two stop it at its source. She handed her med kit to a corporal. Keep pressure on that wound. Don't stop. No matter what,
She commanded, her voice cutting through the din.
Then she took a deep breath, slung her rifle over her shoulder, and began to move. But she didn't run. She moved with the quiet grace of a predator, using the scant cover of rocks and rubble, disappearing and reappearing like a wisp of smoke. The enemy rounds chased her, but they were always a fraction of a second too late. She wasn't just evading fire. She was analyzing it, timing it, predicting the gunner's next move. She found her perch a small crevice in the rock face, barely wide enough for her frame. From there, she had a clear, though narrow, line of sight. She steadied her rifle, her breathing slowing to a near imperceptible rhythm. Her heartbeat was a steady drum, not a frantic panic. In her scope, she saw the world shrink to a single point. The small opening of the machine gun nest. She didn't see She saw a problem that needed a precise, immediate solution. One shot. That's all it would take. One shot, delivered with the same steadiness she used to thread a suture needle. The wind, the distance, the anglet, all coalesced in her mind, not as numbers, but as a feeling, an intuition honed by thousands of hours of practice with both her tools.
She exhaled slowly, her finger applying gentle pressure to the trigger.
The crack of her rifle was sharp, distinct from the chaos around it. Across the valley, the machine gun fell silent. The battle wasn't over, but his heart had been ripped out. The momentum shifted. As her unit began to gain the upper hand, Anya was already sliding back down the rocks, her rifle once again on her back. She ran to her sergeant, grabbing the med kit.
The corporal looked at her with awe.
Anya Hoost knelt her hands, immediately going to work on the wound, her movements once again precise, economical, and focused.
She held the bandage like she held her rifle, with the absolute precision of someone who understood that in the right hands.
Both could be instruments of light. Thanks for watching. If you were inspired by Anya's story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to join our community.